kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and mess me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drumming around in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aspire Sports Show. I'm Tyler with my co-hosts here. We got Kyle, Ryan, Giggs. He can't be here. He's there's a birthday party, I guess he has. So he's not here. So we're here. We're going to be talking about the games. And if you have any more questions for tonight, I do see that there is a question here from Mark. We'll answer any questions you have. Real quick, we'll answer the question. So it's Disley or Tonyan, or not Tonyan. It's Tonyan. That's how you say his name. Tonyan or Disley. Who would you go with, Ryan?
I'd go Tonyan just because I feel like there's already a more clear, defined role. We've seen him in this offense for weeks now, so I trust that more than Disley, where we think he's going to be the guy. But Hollister also came in and caught a decent amount of passes as well when also went down. So I would just take Tonyan on us knowing more, and he's the safer play, I would say.
Yeah, I'd probably go Tonyan as well. I don't like either one, but Hey, I'd go Tonyan. I would watch out for Disley because I do think Disley has some potential in this offense with Olsen out for season. So he was decent last year. He was pretty good. He had a little bit of a stretch there where he was scoring some points. So somebody I would definitely keep an eye on. But I would just go Tonyan because at this point you're just relying on a touchdown. Tunyan's has scored some touchdowns this season, so I would go Tonyan for that reason. But I'd keep my eye on Disley for sure. So let's go ahead and talk about some games. Are the Chiefs the best team in football? Kyle, what do you say?
Um, I don't know. I think
What
that's a
says you?
tough question. Um, I mean, are they the best team? I think that the end of that first quarter, obviously, that makes them look tough. But like I had mentioned earlier, I think splash plays are they're preventable if you're a defense. I just think the Bucks, like you said, maybe they're not as good as we thought, or maybe they just didn't really come to play, and they've just been on a really bad streak lately. So, did it say more about the Bucks or did it say more about the Chiefs? I think a little bit of both. I do think that they are. I think they're beatable, but I just don't. I'm not gonna sit here with confidence and say if they play the Steelers in the AFC Championship tomorrow that I know who's gonna win because I really don't. So I don't think much changed for me. I'll say that. Um, I think it's still a toss up between them and the Steelers, and that's all I'll say.
What about you, Ryan? Do you think they're the best team in football?
I do. I think the Chiefs are. Yeah, for a little bit there, they literally looked unstoppable. Because just when you think that, like, even if you say something as simple as like, all right, you shouldn't let up those chunk plays with Tyreek Hill because he was just getting past the defense, then that opens things up wide open for Kelsey, and you could see that the Chiefs just have so many options to just toy with people on every level of the field that it'll be extremely difficult to stop that offense if you can't keep up with them.
Yeah, I think that they are, but I will say they only scored 7 points in the second half. So
That's why I say that. I mean, the
they
first quarter, yeah, but
they can have. I think that they're like. I don't want to compare them to say like the Golden State Warriors, but kind of where they just have these moments where they definitely do look like unstoppable. But then there's also some moments where I just think that they try to do too much. They try to like hit these big plays or like Andy Reid sometimes tries to get a little bit too cute with the play calling. I feel like too. So I think also their defense. I don't believe in their defense. I think their defense was a lot better last year than it is this year. So that's also one thing that I do have some concern about for them. But offensively, they can beat anybody in the league. I don't care if it's Pittsburgh. They could still beat Pittsburgh, and that offense is just incredible. So, but I mean, when you have 40-year-old Tom Brady hanging up 350 on them, it doesn't bode well for that offense or defense. So, um, what about some of the big players from today? Some of the guys that you thought performed well. Some of these guys that what happened to Brian Hill today? Yeah, Brian Hill sucked. Damn you, Brian Hill. Damn you. What do you guys feel about Brian Hill today? Same.
I mean, I wasn't extremely high on him going into it just because in the limited times where he has been the guy going like into the week when like say last year or back when like when Freeman would be out and he had to be the guy on that week, he never really produced that well like a you were hoping that week. And I know a couple comments that when we were answering some questions like during the week, like I feel like this is Brian Hill last year and we all got burned on him. And I was kind of I saw it coming, but it was such a juicy matchup where we kind of fed into it and just forgot about it. But I don't know. That game altogether. I mean, if you would have said that the Falcons were going to put up 40 something and
Right.
Hill sucked, it like no one would have
Right.
no sense.
That's
I,
why I just look at this game like how, and it's because of some turnovers. But
Brian Hill though, that's who you're questioning. What about Josh Jacobs?
yeah, both of them sucked.
Josh Jacobs though, at least, I mean, like what the fuck? The entire Raiders. But didn't we say it though? We said it in the stream today. We said me and you both. We just had a feeling about the Raiders today that they were just gonna blow it today. They just weren't going to come out and play, and that's exactly what happened. Because we were talking about my mom, she does like this fantasy pool where she picks a team to win each week. Well, funny enough, my dad convinced her to pick the Raiders.
Yeah, because we were definitely saying that. Wasn't it Seattle? Was the other one?
Yeah, Seattle, and I
Yeah.
think they're going to stomp the Eagles tomorrow, and that's
I
just
definitely would have played Seattle. Like,
yeah.
and here's the
No
thing:
disrespect
is
to the Eagles, it's just Seattle's that
that's
that
why
much firepower.
I wasn't that high on Carr either. Like, I didn't like Carr that much because I didn't trust. I did like Aguilar because I thought Aguilar. I don't even know if he had a good. I don't know if anybody on that team had a good game. Did they? What was his stats? He had 5 for 54 PPR. That's not too bad. But yeah, Josh Jacobs was a big letdown. Just that whole team was a letdown. Gig says, "Are the Rams the biggest letdown today?" I'd say honestly, I was not convinced. I didn't like Jared Goff that much going into I still don't like Jared Goff that much. I don't trust him, and that was a divisional game. I feel like divisional games are always a little bit more tougher, regardless if a team's bad or good. They're still like your opponent really well and everything, so that's different. But this game, to me, the Raiders were the biggest letdown.
I
To
think
lose by 30 some points to the Falcons with no Julio Jones is pathetic. That is pathetic. So that's my biggest letdown of the week.
and
And
losing Todd Gurley, they had zero running game.
Yeah,
Zero
didn't even
running
have to talk really.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say Cooper Kupp was a big letdown this week too. And if it hasn't been said already, and I know it hasn't in here, but everywhere, free Cam Akers. Free Cam
yes,
Akers.
free Cam Akers.
Let him,
I agree.
9.3 yard average.
Derek Carr's QBR was 14.5.
I didn't know that was possible.
That's pretty terrible. That's pretty sad. Thank you for the advice overall. Hey, we try our best. I feel like we did decent this week. Obviously, like kind of bought into the Brian Hill hype a little bit too much. Also, I bought into the Matt Breida hype a little bit too much. But we made some still like good calls. Ryan Fitzpatrick, where I was very high on Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had a pretty solid week this week. I really think a lot of the quarterbacks, and maybe I'm wrong, but scoring wise, it just wasn't that big of a scoring week from some of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Unless you had obviously if you had Mahomes, which no brainer obviously, but if you were playing like Derek Carr or somebody like that, Jared Goff not good, so it wasn't that good of a week for quarterbacks. So how about the play calling by the Chargers at the end of the game? King Henry rolled through the Colts D. I will say Giggs, he called that. He said that Derrick Henry was going to be. He said he was his number one play today, at the running back position. So he called that. But the play at the end of the game, yeah, I honestly didn't even see. I know people were saying stuff about it, but what even happened, I didn't see.
Time was ticking down, and it was pretty much out of reach. They were down 10, but with time running, they ran the ball at the goal line and got stopped with 15 seconds left. And then rushed to the line to spike it to throw it, and they had 2 incompletions next. It was the Anthony Lynn literally looked completely.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Great. He just looked raw. That was bad.
Yeah, why would you? You're on the 2-yard line. You go up with the clock running and you run the ball with 0 timeouts.
And then Herbert tried doing a play as time expired, where he acted like he was in shotgun, then hustled to the line to QB sneak it. And the entire offensive line was dropping back into pass protection. It was brutal.
That's a mess.
Are you saying? I'm assuming Hilton. Well, I'm assuming you're saying Hinton didn't work out. Yeah, that was my bad too. I did say he was a desperation flex play. I will say that. I said over guys like Frank Gore. The only reason why I said Claypool, and yeah, obviously it's easy to look at it now and say, yeah, that was a bad mistake. But my whole thing, and I feel like we are all pretty much on board, is I'm not playing any of these Steelers players. I just don't trust the game.
Willie Snead.
Yeah, you still have players testing positive. This I don't understand how this. Well, I do understand because the NFL doesn't give a shit. They say we're all about player safety. No, you're not. If you had all the quarterbacks, some quarterback test positive, and then you have all the quarterbacks not playing, you would have not. You would have moved the Denver game, but you care about your bottom dollar more than everything else. That's why this game happened. The Steelers game should. It probably will happen, but it should not happen. You have these players still testing positive for COVID. It
I
does
don't.
not make
I
sense to
hate
me.
when the Steelers play play games where like they have. Well, this year they've played games where it should have been much easier. They've kept them close, but I do hate when they play those types of games like Jacksonville because it's boring. It's like I want to watch them play a really good team and just watch a really good game because if they blow that team out, then it's even better. But like when you blow out a bad team, it's just boring, especially when they underperform. It's even worse.
Another one that drove me crazy today was Naeem Hines actually had a really good game, and Jacoby Brissett vultured 2 goal line touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah. How stupid is
That's
that? That is so
yeah.
dumb. And I mean, even for people, well, Jordan Wilkins, he came back. He got hurt, right? But I think he came back into the game.
Yeah, coming back.
Also, if
But
you're
even
watching
for
right now,
him,
please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate
I
it.
trust the Steelers. Oh, for sure, I trust the Steelers players. I'd play Deontay Johnson for me is a must start every single week. Like
Brian, do you have
the
the
amount of
parlay?
volume that he's getting, for sure. Like honestly, this is the only week that I'd play the Steelers players over a lot of guys, but I just not this week. So yeah, that's the Steelers. I think they should handle their business pretty easily against Baltimore. I said that even prior to Lamar. I think the Steelers are going to stomp Baltimore personally in Pittsburgh, but we'll see. Like this whole COVID thing is, I just feel like messes with teams, and I don't. I think that they still win. Does Green Bay cover? What do you guys think? I gotta let my dog out of here.
Yes. No, actually, I don't think so. I think this is actually going to be a really close game, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, Green Bay, think about it. Just think about this really quick.
I'm thinking.
Okay, are you still thinking? All right, now keep thinking about it.
All right, I'm thinking.
Are you still thinking about it? No, but
Deontay or Claypool? I like Deontay more. Deontay's.
no, but
I'd
what
start Deontay
I
over
was actually
Claypool.
gonna say for actually is look at today the Browns playing against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is an awful team. Okay, guess who struggled against Jacksonville last week? The
Yeah,
Packers.
Green Bay.
Green Bay has
Green Bay also got smacked by Tampa Bay.
yeah smacked, absolutely smacked. So I don't have much
And lost
confidence in the
to
Packers.
and lost to the Vikings.
Yeah. That's even worse, actually. The Vikings are actually the worst team out of those three. No, no, I'm just kidding. But actually, I don't know.
No,
Jacksonville looked a little bit more impressive than the well.
Jacksonville looked
Without
decent
Cook,
today, but
I think
I'll,
they're
I'll say
almost
this:
equal.
James Robinson is the
And
real deal,
Thielen.
people. James
Yeah, he
Robinson
is.
is a stud.
He is their whole
Like
team.
that dude is awesome, and I've been trying to tell people all season long, like this kid is amazing. That kid is seriously a stud. Like, and that's why I remember a couple weeks ago I asked the question, and the person laughed at it. I was like, he said, "Who should I trade for? Who should I trade James Robinson for?" I was like the bare minimum I would accept is like Hopkins. And he's like, no way. That's so like I would definitely you can't get Hopkins for James Robinson. I was like, you're nuts. And yes, that is insane. James Robinson is a top 5 guy. It might be next year. Hopefully this team gets better. I mean, he's on Mike Lennon and he still had a very good game this week. Please bring back CMC after. I think he'll be back after the bye for sure. Although, hey, you never know. Maybe they shut him down for the season. Maybe he gets COVID. You have I have no idea at this
And
point.
Packers, not last week, sorry. It was the week before. They lost to the Colts last week, who, in my opinion, looked really bad today. Like, they looked very bad. And I don't care what you say about Jonathan Taylor. It had nothing to do with it, in my opinion.
No, but Giggs did point out they're missing some defensive linemen. That definitely helps.
True.
Or
That
hurts
is true.
for this team.
True.
And Swift back. Swift will be back, I imagine. Yes, I was really looking forward to Swift. I honestly think Swift would have been one of the highest, probably not the highest, because freaking Henry just obliterated the Colts. But Swift would have been one of the highest players at the running back position this week. I honestly think that. I think he would have crushed Houston. Bills -4 cash. Hey, yeah. What was the final score? Was it 10 or was it 7? It was 10, right?
Hmm? Oh,
The
10.
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I said it. Yeah, me and Don, we got it right. Ryan over here, I think he got it wrong.
What an idiot.
Robinson, Fournette. Yeah, Fournette is trash. I said that before this in the stream earlier. I was like, dude, why does he see the field? Like, Ronald Jones is so much better than him. If you watch football, if you have it, like if you have a pair of eyes, a set of eyes, and you watch football, you can just see that dude out there is just like stumbling into people, running into people's butts, dropping passes.
He's
Like
my
he
keeper.
sucks. He's terrible. Oh man. Anyways, let's talk about the game tonight a little bit. Shall we?
No.
Let's do first touchdown score. Let's do that. So, we'll go ahead. Giggs did send me his. Let me get his pulled up real quick. First TD he has Adams as his first touchdown score. He didn't have anybody on the other side. I don't think so. And he was big on Rojo, and he did say the Derrick Henry thing. He did call that. And Debo, I did mention that. So he didn't have anybody for the Bears though. So I'll go ahead and do mine real quick. First touchdown score. I'm gonna start with the Green Bay side, and I will say I really want to say Adams too, but I'll try to be a little bit different. I'll say Aaron Jones. It's also, I feel like, pretty easy ones. Adams 100%. I know. I feel like Adams will probably score, but I'll say Aaron Jones because I could see them getting in close and then him just running it in. And then on the other side of the ball, I'm gonna say Anthony Miller. I'm sticking to my guns. I've been high on Anthony Miller. I don't have FanDuel. I just have DraftKings pulled up. Do you have FanDuel pulled up, Ryan?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
What are the odds for his first touchdown scorer over there?
Who are you asking for?
What's Jones?
Yes. What about Steve?
Aaron Jones is plus 480.
And what's so that's actually better. No, Aaron Jones is plus 550 on draft. What's Anthony Miller's?
Anthony Miller is plus 2600.
Ooh, so he's better over there. He's 2000 on DraftKings. So if you're going to be betting for Anthony Miller one, go over to FanDuel. What about you, Kyle? Do you have yours or no?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Alan Lazard.
Alan Lazard.
Put a cool
And what about the other
fitty
side?
on it. On the other side, I really like Darnell Mooney. I don't at all. I actually think Allen Robinson is more than likely. I think him and Trubisky the only two that actually have chemistry on that offense. So I think they actually might feast a little bit today. I don't think the Packers really know what to expect. Because I think that the Bears are going to play a little bit more conservative offensively because Trubisky is pure trash.
I had Kamara, Jacobs, and Murray today. You know how that went. That's brutal. I did mention I was a little concerned about Kamara just because I didn't think freaking Murray would run so much, but Taysom Hill. First of all, Taysom Hill sucks. I just want people to know that. I was watching this game, watched it last week. Taysom Hill is no quarterback. I'm very surprised that they don't have Jameis Winston there because I don't think Taysom Hill is good at all.
I hope
he's not good.
Jameis Winston goes to a different team next year that wants him to start, and I hope he balls the fuck
Steelers.
out. It'd be cool if that's where it was. It'd be awesome, but I don't care where it is. I hope he goes and he balls out, and then the Saints don't lose Drew Brees and Tom Brady retires, and both teams are like, fuck, we really messed up.
Uh-huh.
And I have a feeling it could happen. Because I
Taysom
think Cam
Hill's
Newton is going to improve throughout this year and through next year. I think he'll be
I'll tell you what
for the Patriots.
Taysom Hill is. Taysom Hill is a he's a little bit of a better passer than Tim Tebow. Other than that, he's Tim Tebow. It's Tim Tebow reincarnated in the NFL, just a little bit better of a passer. That's what
Actually,
he is.
that's actually a really good.
That's what he
He's a
is.
faster Tim Tebow, a little bit more
He
athletic.
is a little bit faster. But that's how it is. Yo, are you a big Steelers fan? I am a big Steelers fan. I try not to be
Nah,
too biased.
I hate the Steelers.
All right. So Ryan, who did you say for your first touchdown scorers?
Ryan's a big Steelers fan too.
I didn't say one. I told myself when I won money off him earlier in the year that I would never not bet DaVante Adams as the first touchdown scorer in a primetime game. So I feel like I have to, but I do also like Kyle's. I do like Lazard as well. If I wasn't contractually obligated to bet on a DaVante Adams, I would say Alan Lazard. And then on the other side, I like Miller as well. We've gone over him a lot. That's Mitch's boy on the opposite end. So I like that. And then a sleeper I like that could possibly score just anytime. I like Cole Kmet. Until it happens, we keep betting on the Cole Kmet tight end for the Bears. Out of Notre Dame.
I think he bagged my groceries.
Okay. Okay. What about? I know you. Do you have a parlay for the people? You already have that made up, don't you?
Yeah, I just sent over a new one that I like more.
All
right, what is it?
It's all right, so I used some resources, and someone contacted me with some nice plays they like tonight.
So the one that you just sent.
A reliable Bears fan. Akeem Hicks is out, so I was told Aaron Jones might rush for 200 tonight. I think that was an overreaction, but I think he said the over of 61.5 is pretty easy. So I'm going Aaron Jones over 61.5. We're including our Anthony Miller that we like over 29.5. DaVante Adams to score anytime. If you wanted to cut it off there, I feel really good about that, but it was only like $10 to win 58, so I wanted to add something else. So I added Mitch Trubisky over 16.5 rushing yards.
Okay. I do like that. Trubisky's only 16.5. I do like that. That's a pretty good bet. I do like Anthony Miller's. That's one that I do like as well. And then what was Aaron Jones? He could. I hope not, because I'm playing him this week. Freaking AB did nothing for me. I was hoping he'd do, and this is in full PPR. I was hoping he'd do something for me this week. So, but those are good bets. I do feel good about those ones.
I do like Jamaal Adams anytime TD score. I got a feeling he's going to get a receiving touchdown today. Or Jamaal Williams.
Jamaal Williams.
Yeah.
Jamal Adams, was that the guy from
he might
Philly?
get an interception today.
Oh, Jamal Adams. That's Josh Adams. That was Josh Adams.
From
I
what?
remember. He was a running back for Philly. Yeah, like 2 years ago or something.
Memorable.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he had I think a really good game, but that was about it. I think it was against like New Orleans or somebody.
Yeah.
So I haven't been reading the chat. He gets hurt all the time. I don't know who was that about, Alex? I'm sorry, I don't remember who we were talking about. Who played Hinton this week? Yeah, he wasn't the good play. I'm sorry. It was. We did say a desperation play. Okay, we did say a desperation play. Like Frank range is where we had him. Taking under 44.5 tonight. I could definitely see that. I think this is going to be. I keep saying this about a lot of the games though, and then they end up being high scoring. So usually, if I say this, you want to take the over. But I do think it's going to be a low scoring affair. I do agree. I think Chicago
Shootout now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shootout now. But I think Chicago. I don't think they win. I think Green Bay wins, but I think Chicago can keep it somewhat close for a little bit, for a while. Eckler, he was a beast, huh?
We called it.
MP, yes, you didn't have your best predictions today. That's how it goes in football. 1 week you're hot, next week you're not. That's just how it goes. Believe me, I try to do it every single week. I'd say honestly, like throughout the week, I give 1,000 responses to start and sits over the week. Like honestly, like thousands. So I don't hit them all. You want to be at least above 50%. You're doing a good job. Football is very, very hard because there's so many variables. There's not enough games. So you have so many things that could go wrong in a football game. And Like, who would have thought if you would have thought that the Atlanta game and the Las Vegas game was going to be that way, people would say you're insane. But hey, look at that. That's where we are. That's what happens. I was talking about CMC. If you still trust him next season, can't stay healthy. I wasted my first pick. I do think he'll be back next year. I think a big reason is just the training camp. I think training camp like messed everything up this year, in my
Ryan,
opinion.
what's the payout on that?
$10 to win 129.
Okay.
$10 to win 129. Are you tweeting it out, Kyle?
Yeah.
Should I trade Jonathan Taylor or David Montgomery? I'd see how David Montgomery does tonight. And listen, I say this all the time. It depends on who you're getting, right? Everybody on your team should have a price. I don't care if it's Patty Mahomes. He should always have a price. Everybody has a price. You sell if the offer is really good. Send out trades for sure. I think both those guys have really good schedules coming up though for playoffs. So I would sit tight. But if you can make $1.50 on a dollar, then obviously you want to make $1.50. You're right about Drake. Yes, he did have a good game. Woods, Chubb was a beast, and Woods, yes.
And that's a lot of sexual innuendos.
I'm going 7-6 this year. I had high expectations because Zach didn't see it. Hey, that's what happens. I thought my teams looked really good on draft day, and then one week you have Odell torn ACL. Next week, or like the same week, you have Miles Sanders get hurt. The same week you have Joe Mixon get hurt, and then the next week it's like Chris Carson gets hurt. And now I'm literally down my first 4 draft picks, and you're like, holy shit.
Steve got hurt today too. Like, what the
Steve
fuck?
Spagnuolo did get hurt.
Dude, so did Matt Patricia. They put him on IR.
They did.
Do you see the Jags fired their GM?
Yeah, their GM. Hey, I mean,
about time.
I'm surprised their coach is
that
still
has
there.
walked out of that door.
What's his name? Marone? Doug
yeah,
Marone?
Doug Marone.
I'm
Do you see Adam Case after the game? He had to clarify that he gave away the play calling duties. He's not the one calling plays anymore.
I'm surprised he hasn't gotten fired. Honestly,
they're 0-11. Like,
how does that man have a job?
I always think of that GIF, like where it's all the people doing that. You ever see it? It's like a bunch of different. It shows like a bunch of different people doing that in a crowd. It's hilarious. LOL.
And you're saying that's him?
No,
what's your guys' record?
Every time I see that shit, that's what I do. Fucking, oh my god. Just like when I see we have 20 viewers and 15 likes. Oh no. Come on, guys. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. We really appreciate it.
At the my record. Oh, last thing about Tyreek Hill today. He has, Tyreek Hill went nuts. If you had him and you didn't win today, you must be really sad because that dude just went on bananas today. What's your guys' record? I think my best record. I did not have a very good fantasy year. This was one of my worst years because of Joe Mixon. Damn you, Joe Mixon. I was so high on him in the beginning of the season, and he really screwed me.
Really just running backs as a whole this year.
Yeah, running backs.
Everybody.
And that's my favorite thing to draft. I draft running backs like the first 4 rounds, and I had most of my leagues were Joe Mixon, Chris Carson. So I can tell you how that went. It didn't go too well.
Josh Jacobs, who's been not inconsistent as a whole, but there's just been some weeks where you've gotten nothing out of him, like this week.
Heading in the playoffs, thanks for your help this season, guys. Hey, we're here for you. If you have any questions, always ask.
Also, we might as well get some criticism or at least some input from the people watching. Like, what is some stuff you guys like to see from us when fantasy season is over? Give us some ideas, send them on Twitter or whatever, DM us, some of that stuff.
Yeah, and
stuff you like to watch NFL related.
Kind of going off of that as well, like some things that I was thinking about making, like video wise, you tell me if you guys would like this. Like what I'm thinking about doing for fantasy is I'm going to like highlight a player and talk about a player. So say it's James Robinson in the video, it'll be like like 5 to 10 minutes or so, just talking about James Robinson, where he should be drafted next year, like give some of his stats, highlight them, that kind of thing, and kind of do that throughout the year. So let me know if you have any interest in that. Also, I want to do like draft tips to help you, obviously, especially when it gets closer to draft time, but some things that you should be doing, some guys that may be a bit overvalued, that kind of thing. So those are going to be the kind of videos I'm going to be making throughout the year.
Alex, we do stream before, yes, every primetime game, Thursday, Monday, and Sunday. We also do one at 10:30 a.m. if you weren't here earlier. I don't really remember if you were or not, to be honest. It was pretty hectic. But we also do one starting at 10:30 up until 1 p.m. kickoff. Dolphin Sculch. I'm going to try and help with my college basketball. Help out with college basketball and for sure college football next year. Yeah, dude, Notre Dame sucks. Give us prospects and who you think is going to have a crazy season for next year, fantasy, and which players have the best schedule. Okay, I mean, like, stuff like that. Something else we were thinking about is like doing like how to draft your fantasy team, and like ideas on how we can do that video too. Is like just how you should approach it the months before, weeks before, different things you can, like different websites, different magazines that they still make where their draft guides, things like that you can look at, and just going into next season you can be more prepared.
Don't worry, I'm gonna create my own stuff.
Yeah,
you guys
well,
can take that.
That's the other thing too, is we
I'll be
want to
better
make
than
a
those magazines. Don't buy
actual
any magazines.
PDF,
Magazines are
yeah,
trash.
an actual PDF you can download too that would actually, it would have the list, people going into next year that we like.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Like when it gets closer to draft time, I kind of said this last time. Like draft time, you want to have tiers. Like tiers is the best way to approach a draft. So you want to have like rankings are really rigid, where you can have, say this guy over this guy in your ranking, so you just go with the guy that's higher. Where tiers, you could have like a guy that's a whole level, like say wide receiver 5 tier, and then a running back 8 tier. Like you want to try to draft people based upon the tiers. Like that's the best way to approach drafts, and also quarterbacks the same way. And one thing, wait on the quarterback position. Always try to wait. Also, guys in the middle round, I feel like this year Kyler Murray was obviously, I thought he was a really good value for where he was going, and also Russell Wilson. But obviously, I did not like Lamar Jackson. That was way too much. So, what's the play? You guys make a fantasy league with your subscribers. I join. That is one thing I was thinking about. We should do that. Who's your guys? We will do that. Honestly, we're gonna make a league with our subscribers. I think Rookie Insight. Yeah, we're gonna do that as well, like a pre-combine video. We're gonna talk about some of the rookies coming in, and what rookies are gonna be fantasy relevant. Might be fantasy relevant. Who are you guys taking for the first TD tonight? I think we said. I feel like everybody's pretty high on Adams, obviously. And then on the Bears side, Anthony Miller, or also Alan Lazard. That's who you guys were thinking too, right? So I feel like the safest probably obviously Adams. But if you want one that has better odds, I would say Alan Lazard. On the other side, I feel good about Anthony Miller tonight. I feel like he's going to have a decent game.
Antonio Gibson will be a beast next year. Yes, I agree with that. RIP. Well, real quick though, Ari Soul, what were you asking about specifically? Was that the parlay for the people? Did that answer your question? Let me know. Also, RIP Kyler Murray. He had his first bad game today. I actually disagree. I don't think he's really been overall like anything spectacular all season, especially if you
fantasy
look at him.
wise.
Yeah, unless you're talking about fantasy, yeah, then I guess that's true. But
he's been really this season.
Since
his injury, he's looked bad. I would say that he's looked really good most of the season.
I think it's
that they compared his stats through this week through Cam Newton's through week 11 of his MVP season, and Kyler Murray's stats have been better across the board than Cam Newton's MVP season.
His passings too,
like yards per game, yeah, everything. Rushing touchdowns. Kyler Murray has 10 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking specifically passing.
Yeah, it was. I think it was yards per game, passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and one other thing. I think rushing yards per game. Yeah, passing yards per game, rushing yards per
I
game.
know the rushing side is on pace, but passing side, I don't know. I guess maybe I would have to look, but I don't know. Whatever. But you think Packers tight end going to have a decent game? I'm going to start him this week. Talking about Tonyan.
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 I mean, tight end's such a shit show. I wish you the best of luck. I don't know if he's gonna have a good game. I'd say no unless he scores. I just feel like that's how tight end position is this year. Not much yards. You're hoping for a touchdown, so hopefully he gets in the touchdown. Hopefully he gets in the end zone for you. What do you think? Who do you think is the best QB in the league at the moment besides Mahomes? I said this early in the season. Honestly, I think, and people laugh at me, and people will still laugh at me, but I think Russell Wilson's the best quarterback in the NFL. You put Russell Wilson on that team, he's going to do everything that Patrick Mahomes is doing. Like, this is the first time Russell Wilson actually has decent weapons, but I've said this earlier as well. Travis Kelce is the biggest mismatch in the NFL. Like, no linebackers fast enough to cover him. No safeties big enough to cover him. So, like, you have the ultimate mismatch, and then you have the probably fastest wide receiver in the NFL on the outside, who's also a very good route runner. It's not like he's just a straight line kind of guy. He's also a good route runner. It's just a recipe for disaster for other defenses. But me personally, I wouldn't say Russell Wilson is better than Patrick Mahomes, but it's pretty damn close. I love Russell Wilson, so
I like
that's what I
Watson
think.
up there too. I think Watson's done a lot with not like his running back situation. A lot of good quarterbacks like have a solid running back to complement the pass game. And I mean, he had David Johnson, now it's Duke Johnson, dude's still putting up numbers. Even with DeAndre Hopkins out, he's still putting up numbers.
No, I agree. Russell Wilson struggled with interceptions a few weeks ago. He did, but also have to take in, like, I know everybody loves DK Metcalf, but DK Metcalf is not a good route runner, number one. If you go and look at his routes, like, it's not that good. Sure, he has some routes that are pretty good, but if you really go and watch his route tree, he doesn't have an extensive route tree. Like, he's not running every route in the book, and he's still pretty young. So who would you rather have, DK Metcalf or Tyreek Hill? Me personally, I'd rather have Tyreek Hill. And then Russell Wilson, one thing he's never had in his career is an offensive line. Like, that dude doesn't have a very good offensive line. Like, it's not that bad this year, but also, like, the play calling's not the best. He's not on a team that has a very good offense coordinator. He's on a team that wants to run the football. So I just feel like he has all these things stacked against him. And I also said this. If you go and look at the major stats in NFL history, like, he's at the top in terms of completion percentage, passer rating, and all that kind of stuff. He's at the top. I just think he's an incredible quarterback that doesn't always get the appreciation he should get. But I would still say Mahomes is better than him. And then right behind Mahomes, Ben Roethlisberger, obviously.
Well, duh.
He might be ahead of Mahomes. He just doesn't
I think
get
he's
the love.
the best in the league. I don't know about comparing Kyler to Cam Newton's MVP season. He only has 19 touchdowns.
No, they said through week 11.
Yeah, I know. Still, he needs to have 45 to be on pace. He's not even close. He has no shot.
I was just saying what the stat had earlier.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I just
Kyle,
think they.
damn.
But I know. But did you read on Twitter or something?
No, it was literally on the TV as I was watching.
Well,
the game.
again, that's what I mean. Like, they just stretch stats or they pull. I don't know. I don't think he's been even close to as good as Cam Newton was that year. I'm not saying I don't like Kyler Murray. I do. I just think he's he's a front runner for MVP. No fucking chance. Like, there's no way. He's not a favorite at all, in my opinion. So it just makes no sense to me. It pisses me off because how is he a favorite and Big Ben's not? He's the 17th ranked quarterback on pro. Dude, on polls, he's on like every poll I see, every tweet I see. I just hate the fucking sports media. I hate them.
2 weeks ago, I loved his value and I tweeted about it. But since the injury, like, I would have thought he would have gone off against Seattle. He hurt his shoulder and he did not look good this week.
No, but yeah, the AC joint is one of the tougher injuries to have, especially on your isn't it on his throwing arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a
pretty
tough
sure,
injury
yeah.
to have. So I don't know. I like Kyler, and I'm not a Kyler hater. I just hate how these dudes get blown by the media every week, even when they like Aaron Rodgers have a bad week, and then he had one great touchdown. Let's put it on every show. Sake of it. Big Ben, the entire Steelers, Pro Football Focus, every week they come out with a video about how Big Ben sucks. It's like, get over it. He's better than Ryan Tannehill, who they suck him off every week too. I'm sick of it. I hate the sports media. They piss me off so much.
Over it, Russell Wilson, are you saying he's overrated? No. You get to watch his games, Alex. I don't know if he's saying he's overrated or not.
He was asked to do a lot for a few weeks there with Carson out, Carlos Hyde out. They were down to their third string running back. No offensive line. I mean, like if he throws some interceptions in the process of putting up 400 yards and carrying a team to a win, I mean that's just kind of.
Lockett was hurt. He hurt his knee, and I don't think he practiced. Like he may have gotten in a limited practice or something. Is Deontay Johnson better than AB? Hell yeah, dude. Deontay Johnson, in my opinion, is one of the overhated. Okay, overhated. Okay, gotcha. Deontay Johnson is one of the better wide receivers, young wide receivers in this league. I get to watch him every single week. The dude's route running as a second-year player is incredible. Like he breaks people's ankles in his route. He reminds me of a young baby.
AB didn't break out till his third season.
Yeah, and he's having a better career already than AB. I'm not saying he's going to be better because AB was insane at his peak. Like that dude could do everything in his peak, but Deontay Johnson looks incredible right now. I will say that. Like casual people discredit. Yeah, definitely. And I think people discredit him because the stats aren't crazy because he's never been on a pass first team. That's why I think Russell Wilson just doesn't get the appreciation because he's not somebody who they want to rely on for some reason. I don't understand why, because you can rely on, but they're a team that wants to throw the ball or run the ball first. So if he had Andy Reid, I feel like we'd be talking about him more than Mahomes. That's just what I'm saying.
But hey,
I want to say this real quick because I was listening to some sports radio, Fox Sports Radio. If Patrick Mahomes wasn't on the Chiefs, do you think he'd be as good as he is now?
Well, not as good as he is. I think he'd still be good, but
say he was on the Bears.
No, he obviously wouldn't be as good as he is now. I mean, I feel like.
What do you think people would view him as if he played on the Bears?
Like Russell Wilson.
You think so?
Hey, I said it going into this season with the Bucks. Tom Brady is nothing without Bill Belichick, and he's proving it every week.
He's okay.
I think he's good.
It's also not fair because he's 48 years old.
Yeah, no, and I agree. But at the same rate, though, I mean, they were still contenders up until he left the Patriots last year. It definitely saw a dip. But there was some shit going on behind the scenes. I think that was why.
Yeah.
But
I'd say so.
But I've been saying it for years, and I made that graphic on Twitter, and I think that said a lot. He already won 2 Super Bowls, and by his third season, and I read you his stats, he was terrible in those first 3 seasons, and he was a runner-up for MVP in this first season, which he made a Pro Bowl, and he didn't even have 20 touchdowns.
Yeah, but it was also a different game like that.
Yeah, I get, and he also
it wasn't as high.
He didn't play till week 3. Week 2 or 3, I think it was 2.
Packers score first, I'd imagine. Is this game on yet? When is this game starting?
Probably
10. Well, we'll start to wrap it up. Why do you think Mahomes was really successful with Andy Reid, but Alex Smith never got to? Well,
Alex Smith
Alex Smith is nowhere near the quarterback that Mahomes is. They needed a Mahomes, but I feel like if Aaron Rodgers went on that team, Russell Wilson, like that team would still win the Super Bowl. Like the thing is that Patrick Mahomes, a lot of people just give him a lot of the credit, but this team was a very good team before Patrick Mahomes. Like this team was going to the playoffs and was very competitive before Patrick Mahomes came along. They traded up to get Patrick Mahomes because they knew, and I'm not trying to discredit Patrick Mahomes at all because he's still incredible. Would be incredible no matter where he went. But it's the perfect. It's kind of like Brady and Belichick. It was just the perfect marriage. Like these two are the perfect marriage. Amazing quarterback, gunslinger quarterback, pass happy offense coordinator / coach.
But also, Tom Brady was somebody who was willing to be coached. That's also a huge difference.
Well, Tom Brady just wanted to win no matter what.
Exactly.
He didn't give a shit about anything else other than winning.
Yeah.
If he had to go out there and hand the ball off 40 times, he'd go out there and hand off the ball 40 times.
He doesn't care if he's going to get the ball off in half a second. He doesn't give a shit how quick.
Yeah.
But this says a lot about the NFL. Literally, not even 15 years or over 15 years ago, just about over 15 years. This was in 2003, so just about over. But this is crazy to me. So right now, the leading in touchdowns, Russell Wilson has 30, Aaron Rodgers 29, Pat Mahomes 27, Brady 25. The list goes on for that. Roethlisberger 24, and Deshaun Watson 24. No big deal. But 2003, this was the end of the year touchdowns. Brett Favre had the most with 32. Peyton Manning had 29 and won MVP. So,
yeah,
and he won MVP
just,
the following year too, and it was no better.
That's just crazy. How the NFL has changed. It's a significant change. That's
actually I could look at it right now.
Offense focused.
I'll just say, actually Peyton Manning it was much better that year. He actually went off. He had 49 touchdowns. That year he went the fuck off.
The Patriots dynasty broke every Steelers fan's heart. Yeah, believe me, I know. I lived through it. It was the most painful. You knew. Going into the playoffs, the Steelers had to play the Patriots. They lose. Believe me, it sucked. It sucked. And they might still lose because I think the biggest thing is Belichick just knows how to play Roethlisberger. And Roethlisberger doesn't play that well.
But what happens if Jesse James scores that touchdown? The Steelers get the first seed going to the playoffs that year.
You can say that, but hey, we don't know. So regardless, we should wrap this up. We should wrap it up. So thank you for hanging out. These are just going to kind of be like, free balling it. No, we're just going. Get out, kids. We're just gonna talk about shit. A fun little stream. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll be live tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in. Have a great day. See ya.
Thanks, guys.